Welcome back to another beautiful day in Lusaka, Zambia. Today, I'd like to talk about a moral question. Africa has been dumped with saving the planet. So we're left with the question, do we or don't we cut our trees down? For us, charcoal is one of the most important energy sources we have. And as you know, charcoal is made from trees. And at the moment, we're going through one of our worst droughts. So our hydroelectric dams are only producing 10% of the energy that they normally would do at this time. Our most famous one being Kariba Dam. So, you might ask yourself, should we ask us to stop using charcoal? Or do you want to ask us to get our kids to eat raw food like animals do? In Zambia, we use 1 million tons of charcoal per year. That requires 6 million tons of wood, which is about 20 million trees every year. It's made in earth mound kilns. What they do in the forest is they'll make a pile of wood, cover it with mud, and set it alight. This way of making charcoal is very inefficient. It's about 6 to 10% efficient. And unless you believe that in 2024 and 25, 6, 7, 8, that we suddenly won't need that 1 million tons of charcoal every year, we're going to have to find another way. Luckily, not all is lost. In the West, when they're producing charcoal, they use equipment called retorts and a method that is called pyrolysis. When you make charcoal that way, you're between 35 and 50% efficient. So even if we said that the saving was 4 times, it would mean that instead of cutting down 20 million trees every year, we'd cut down 5 million trees. The ones with the moral high ground will say, no, no, no. We said no deforestation, no cutting any trees down. But that is ridiculous. Like I said earlier, we can't eat raw food. It has to be cooked. Retorts and pyrolysis. Those are big words. Sounds very complicated, so I thought I would show you. It should be my version 6 or version 7 of what I mean. So all it is a chamber, such as this one. We then put the wood in an oxygen-free environment inside the chamber and set it alight. And then all the gases that would normally escape into the atmosphere and pollute it at millions of tons of carbon dioxide don't escape into the atmosphere, and they're actually used to turn the wood into firewood, making the savings I mentioned, where instead of cutting down 20 million trees, you'll only cut down 5 million trees. I did a bit more experimenting I should show you. On this version, I made a dryer. There it is. Made a dryer on one side, so you can dry food in the rainy season. And I also made a smoker on the other side. Slightly more complicated, but you can see inside. I know it's looking a bit rough, but I move on. Try to get better and better. In Tanzania, the charcoal business employs more than 300,000 people. I'm sure in Zambia it's more than that. One, because Tanzania has a more diversified energy resource. I know when I was there, you could see gas was being used much more widely. And they just don't have the trees that we have. This is version 7 or 8. I'll just say now that you make these things from local materials or recycled materials. So you don't need any American dollars, you don't need any oil or diesel, and you don't need Kariba Dam when there's no rain. But you place the wood in a drum, seal it up so there's no oxygen, put it into your chamber, and once it's in the chamber you set it alight. And like I said at version 7, nothing gets wasted. Out the chimney, clear. All the energy that comes out of the wood stays inside the chamber and gets burnt. So, why use retorts? Well, global warming and drought means we need the trees more than ever. And using a retort would mean that we'd create employment, we'd decriminalize the industry, so shady characters couldn't take advantage of more innocent locals and their natural resources. We'd be able to make people more aware of the environment. We'd return control of communities to the rural areas where they can make decisions. And one thing that's very important in those communities is to have cash, not just food, because you can't always necessarily barter with people for the items you want. Well, you've seen, I always mean to try. and I'll ask you to join me in finding ways of saving our planet and saving our trees. Thank you, Lusaka, Zambia. Please subscribe.